What's going on, everybody? Payneblade back here again from Server 1 representing IC. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you for giving me 1 day of rest. It was much needed, and we had a fantastic birthday from my mom. So I'm back in business now, and let's get things started. Now, one thing I've been asked a lot lately, guys, has been, Payne, what limit breaks are the most important limit breaks in the game? What should we focus on? So the clear answer to that, guys, realistically is every limit break 2, specifically LB2, aka LB2, you should be unlocking anyways. Whether you need it or not, it boosts your power overall for the character, gives them a couple extra stats, and obviously gives them the new trait abilities that are required. But we're going to prioritize them, okay? And what we're going to do is what we did with the other, which UR should you focus on, or which rarity should you focus on, and we're going to focus on every single shinobi. So I'm going to start off with rares, and we're going to go to SRs, then we're going to go to URs, and this way, guys, as you watch the video, you will learn how to actually, oh sorry, not how to, but what each unit's LB2s are, and this way maybe it'll help you register which one you should focus on and which one you should not, and also gives me a little refresher course as well too, because it's been a while since I've looked at every single LB2. So let's start off with the beginning, start off with Konohamaru. I can probably tell you at the moment right now, he will not need his LB2, but let's have a look and see, because this is a character you're not going to use, but if we look at the view effect list under LB, you can actually take a quick look. Now, what he does is boost all active allies attack if he started the turn. Again, if you're using Konohamaru, chances are you're not doing too well in the game. So if you want him as a simp, then go ahead and do it. But overall, he's not required. Okay, let's move over to Shino. Shino, same scenario. I don't think this is going to be required, but we're going to take a quick look and have a little peek into what it is. Now remember, these are certain things you need to have. Like you need to have, for LB2s, you need to actually unlock a certain level. I believe it's 6-star to get the LB2s unlocked. And his is right now is increases his own chakra at the start of the turn after an ally has been defeated. Again, not a necessity, so you can bypass that one. There are a couple rares though where you do want to do this. So let's take a look at Choji's real quick. Now Choji's a character that a lot of people will still be using even end game because he does have tribe specials, right? So he might be a character that you may want to actually focus on if you don't have Jiraiya or Blossom. Boost own counter damage, increase rate for the rest of the battle. So there you go. So counter damage, once you unlock counter, he'll actually boost the damage rate. So not that important, guys, but if you plan to use him in Abyss, it's not a bad one to have. So again, you can bypass that one. Let's take a quick look at Ino. Let's see, limit break for her is going to be boost damage reduction rate of the ally with the lowest HP if the user starts at, okay, so this is the same as Corinne's. Alright, so very similar, they pretty much boosted the same thing. So that's actually not a bad one if you plan to use her and you are a simp for her and you still end up using her. I mean, I don't know why you would, but hey, some people do. So her LB2 is actually not bad, so I do recommend getting hers up. Pretty easy to do with the rares, right? Because you have so many fragments for them anyways. 10-10 I believe is a must. I don't personally have it, but on my free to play I did boost it up to LB2. Boost all allies attack for the rest of the battle. So that's a big one, guys. So definitely 100% 10-10 LB2 is a necessity. Let's look at Mitsuki's. I believe his is a really good one too. So actually, you know what? While we're here, let's actually go ahead and do this. I haven't done this with him. I haven't been bothering. But while we're here, we have so many freaking fragments. Let's get it done. His LB2, I believe, is decreases all enemies' attack, if I remember correctly. I don't have his Shinobi, actually, yeah, you know, we can do this one later. I'll take care of it later, don't worry about it, guys. But yeah, I believe his is reducing, yeah, lowers all enemies' attack for the rest of the battle. So actually pretty good, especially if you're going to be doing Abyss with him. So yeah, I'd say get Mitsuki's up anyways. He's actually not bad. And then Kiba's here. Let's take a look. I believe I have his already done anyways. But boost damage increase rate for users of all allies in the same 3-man cell. So that is a must. That is a must, guys. So 110% get those up. So these 3 specifically, maybe even 4, I would highly recommend for those rares, get it up, okay? So let's go to Zabaza now, let's see what his offers. So those 4 rares for sure. Zabaza, boost own damage increase rate at the start of the battle after an ally has been defeated. So not bad if you plan to use him and he's going to be in your PvE team. Really good. Also PvP, so not bad for him to have. So yeah, I would do it if you have it. Mama Sakura D is going to have something a little different. Obviously, boost all active allies guard rate and critical suppression rate if the user start of the turn. So yeah, hers is actually really good. I would highly recommend getting hers up. The guard rate and critical suppression rate will give you a lot more survivability in PvE content and PvP as well too, right? So places like NWT, Arena, and Abyss. Limit break here for Hiruzen. I believe his is the one where he dies, chakra goes down for everybody. Oh no, increase all chakra for all allies start of the turn after he's been defeated. So I mean, listen, if you plan to use them as a gimmick, this is not a bad one to have, so definitely get it up. It'll give you an extra little boost, but if you have Sai, it's not a necessity, so that's your call. Not a necessity in my opinion, but you may as well if you have them. if you've gotten that far with that character, then you may as well do it. Okay, so let's go look at the Orochimaru D version from Boruto. Boost damage reduction rate for all users 3-man cell for the rest of the battle at the start of any turn after an ally has been defeated. Yeah, I mean, not bad. Boosting DRR is always a good thing, so yeah, you can get him up. Not a priority though, guys, but you can definitely get him up. Most people won't be using him as a character anyways, but I mean, if you have him, you may as well, right? Alright, LB2 for Conqueror. See, a lot of these people I haven't touched yet because I don't want to waste resources, but for free-to-play players and people who are brand new, these characters are really good. Boost own attack at the start of the turn after an enemy has been defeated, lasts for the rest of the battle. That's stacks, so that's a really good one. Conqueror is a really good character, so highly recommend, yes, put that one as something you want to do. SR Naruto Kage, now that he's actually viable, boost on damage reduction rate at the start of any turn after an ally has been defeated. I mean, listen, if you plan to use him as a tank, okay, not bad, but not a must, okay, so not a necessity. Alright, let's take a Conan's real quick. Lowers damage increase rate for all enemy shinobi at the start of any turn after an ally has been defeated. Nah, honestly, not a necessity. You can if you plan to use her, but it's not a necessity. So, Oniki. Yes, I will get to the showcase eventually, guys. Boost on critical damage increase rate. Yeah, this is a really important one for him specifically because he boosts his own crit rate and as a trait. So this is increasing the damage increase rate as well too. So yes, I would 100% get that up. So Oniki, definitely do that. Naruto Sasuke Revenge. Here's another character that I believe has the typical one. Oh no, increases his own chakra. Yeah, this is a must. So the reason why this one is a must, guys, increases his own chakra at the start of the turn is because if you have Kid Sasuke and you have Sai with him in the cell, he does instant jutsu at level, I believe, like 86 or something, or 82, maybe 83, so something like that. But definitely, if you're a free-to-play character and you don't have CM2 and you don't have Jiraiya, for example, for instant chakra, he's a really good character to have for that. So yes, for sure, get that up. Her limit break 2, I believe, is lowers attack for all enemy shinobi. Again, not a big deal, guys. If you are fighting on your server with a lot of A shinobis and that is a big deal to you, then go ahead, but it's not a must in my opinion. Alright, so Sakura. Let's take a quick look here and see what she has. I believe it's chakra increase. Nope, here we go. Boost all active allies damage reduction rate if the user started the turn. Yeah, I mean, not bad. She's a good healer. She gives chakra as well too, so not a bad thing to have. I know I have her LB2 on my painful experience before I gave it away, so definitely worth it. Naruto's also another one that you definitely want to get up there for his LB2. I believe he boosts his own attack in defense at the start of the turn after an enemy has been defeated and lasts for the rest of the battle. So that's a really good one, especially for his boost in his tribe and his jutsu. So really good there, for sure. Get that up. Yamato, I believe, is also a I think it's a must as well. Boost all active allies guard rate. Yep, definitely get that up. So guard rate, guys, DRR, all those big defensive buffs are really important to have. So I would highly recommend getting that up as well too. So this one here lowers all enemies damage reduction rate at the start of the turn after the user has been defeated. You may as well. And the reason why that's so important, guys, is he already does a massive amount of defense down, which I think is like 75%. Adding that to the mix is even better. So if you use him as a bait unit where you want him to die, then definitely focus on putting that limit break 2 into play, guys, because he will actually be very useful for doing the debuffs. Alright, Naruto Rage. I haven't really focused much on him, to be honest. I probably should get him up there, but let's see what he has. Boost on damage increase rate and critical rate at the start of the turn after an enemy has been defeated. Pretty good trait. Honestly, I don't really use him. I don't think many people do, but that LB2 is actually decent for him. So that's up to you. If you actually use him as a main DPS, definitely get him up. But I mean, if you don't, then you don't really have to. Sarada, I think she's a must. I believe hers was lowering so boost all active allies damage increase rate at the start of the turn. Yep, so that's definitely a must, guys. You definitely need to get her up. That is very useful, especially for the tribe special of New Team 7, right? Kabuto, I believe, does damage reduction rate for all D units. Yeah, lowers damage reduction rate for all defense units. Absolutely get that up because that is good for FG and other big events where there's a ton of D units. Orochimaru's, I think, also lowers all enemies critical suppression rate if the user is active at the start of the turn. That is a must. The reason why that's so important, guys, is you'll land more crits that way on the opponent by lowering their critical suppression rate. So yes, for Orochimaru. Asuma, boost all active allies guard rate and guard damage rate. Absolutely must. Yes, absolutely for Asuma. Hinata, I think you need it anyways. Boost on critical damage increase rate if the user if the user is active at the start of the end of the turn, lasts for the rest of the battle. So she stacks that, so definitely get that up. That is super important for her. Kakazu, I haven't bothered getting him up yet, but let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's get this guy up. I think his was a must too, though. Let's see what it is. Boost on damage increase rate at the start of the turn after an enemy has been defeated. Absolutely. Get that up for sure too. The biggest priority of any single LB2, guys, there are a couple. Sai being number one. Sai is your number one priority for any LB2, guys. So if you don't have Sai's up, forget all of this, focus on Sai. Sai is your number one goal. So let's see Neji here. Boost critical rate for all users of 3-man cell. Absolutely get that up. Yes, for sure for Neji if you plan to use him. Let's check out Kisame. Lowers all active enemies critical rate if the users absolutely get that up. Lowering critical rate is huge for a debuff. SR Heavy. Let's see here. Boost all active allies guard rate. Yes, for sure get that up. Boruto is another must, I believe. He, I think, does boost on own attack at the start of the turn. Yep, for sure. For him especially, it's important because it stacks, number one, and number two, it also helps with the tribe damage, right? So definitely get that focus on getting that up. Shikamaru, it boosts damage reduction rate for all T units for the rest of the battle. Now he's a tricky one. You don't have to get this for him because he's really used for his skill 1 and his jutsu and his skill 4. So you don't necessarily have to get this up if you don't want to. I originally haven't had this up for a very long time. I just decided to do it because I have so many freaking fragments and I got bored. But you don't need Shikamaru's LB2, okay? Guy. So let's take a look at guys real quick. Boost damage reduction rate for the 3-man cell. So yeah, definitely get that up if you plan to use him as a tank. Garas is another must-have. So his actually does DIR up if you're attacking first, which means if you're faster, everybody gets DIR up as long as those cells are faster than your opponent. So that is a 100% must, guys. So definitely get that up. Rock Lee, I think, was not bad either. Boost on attack and defense when there are more undefeated allies than enemies. So definitely focus on that, guys. That's a big one if you plan to use him, which means if you have more allies than there are enemies available, he boosts his own attack and defense every turn. It doesn't stack though because it's not rest of battle, unfortunately, but it's still really good. Tsunade was another big one too. Boost recovers all allies HP and then boosts their critical rate if the user is active at the start of the turn. So everybody gets crit rate up on this. So definitely get her up for her LB2. Haku's LB2 is also like Kabuto's, but it does it for T units instead, so lowers damage reduction rate for all T units. Definitely a must, guys, because Haku's used for a lot of content. Here's the man. Here's the man you 100% want to get. So Sai is your number one focus, guys. If you don't know what Sai does, he actually increases all allies chakra at the start of the turn, which means that's any turn, even if he's not available in that rotation, everybody gets chakra. That's what makes him the most important character in the game to have, especially for LB2. So everyone should be focusing on getting a 6-star SR and then getting the limit break too. Remember, you need 25 weapon frags as well as character frags to get it done. There's more character frags than weapon frags, but you know what I mean. Toby's another must-have as well, guys. Toby is the ultimate DRR character, so lowers all active enemies the damage reduction rate if he's available during the start of the turn, so making that turn extremely viable, and your characters hit hard just by him being there, so 100% get him up. Darwin's another must-have for units. He actually ends up doing boosting damage increase rate for all ally defense shinobis for the rest of the battle, so that's a pretty big one, especially for places like the Abyss, so that's a must-have in my opinion. Blossom, another huge one, increasing chakra. Increases all active allies chakra at the start of the turn after an ally has been defeated, so definitely get that up. Really, really good for Abyss, and she's an awesome character to have for that as well. Sugetsu for a tank, really good, boosts all active allies guard rate at the start of any turn, so you guys know how that works. Naruto Kage SR, another super important one, guys. This one actually ends up boosting critical rate and guard rate for the users of the 3-man cell, so a very, very good one for survivability plus attack, so definitely get his up. Mama Sakura is boosting all allies damage increase rate at the start of the turn, so really good one to boost the damage for the characters that are currently there, and she also does attack up as well too, so this is a great must-have ability and really good for the Connected Feelings tribe, so definitely get her up. Kikakashi, surprisingly enough, his trait is actually more important than his LB2. His LB2 though does interesting things. Boost damage reduction rate and guard rate for all tactical shinobis for the rest of the battle, and boost damage reduction rate, guard rate for all defense shinobis. So it just makes everybody a lot tankier. So really good LB2, especially for Abyss, but if you're looking for the offensive side, just his trait is enough. But I would still get this up if you plan to use him in Abyss, and he's really good for that, and Arena and NWT, right? Alright, so let's look at A real quick. Boost damage reduction for all allied shinobi. So if you have a lot of allied shinobi and you're putting some D units to boost like Hidan and him, A is actually really good to have. So I would definitely get that up if you're running a lot of A's and you plan to use him. Oddly enough, that is his name as well. Let's take a look at Jugo. Jugo is boost all active allies critical suppression rate if he's there in the start of the turn. So really important for Abyss guys to avoid units from critting you, and Arena as well. So not a must-have to be quite honest, but still a really good one to take advantage of. Alright, so Renee, this is a must-have for sure. Boost own attack at the start of the turn after an enemy has been defeated. So this helps a lot in Arena, NWT, as well as FG and any other event that, like Tower of Eternity, for example. So for him, it's not necessarily a must-have, like it won't make or break the character, but it's a really good one to have. So up to you. If you don't have the fragments and you want to awaken him before doing his LB2, you can actually go ahead and awaken him before doing this LB2 and then just use SR fragments to get this done later. But the weapon frags are the most important one for him. They were limited, so if you don't have him, that's going to be a little tough. Alright, so going on to the URs, guys. So just a quick, so remember, the units I mentioned, the most important one is Sai. Everyone else that I mentioned is okay to have, is good, but focus on Sai as your #1 focus to getting his LB2, alright? So Kabuto's lowers all enemies damage reduction rate for the rest of the battle, so that's actually a really good one. So that one will help you do more damage, obviously, so that could really be helpful in places like Abyss, even FG and stuff, but most people won't use them in FG, right? Alright, so Corinne's, we all know what this one is already. This is the one that Ino had, which it boosts damage reduction rate for the user with the lowest HP for the rest of the battle, so not bad. If you use her as a healer, I mean, you definitely want to get it, but it's not a must-have, right? Alright, so let's check out Hidan's. I don't even have him because I'm a 17. You know what? Let's just boost this guy's talisman. Let's boost this up here. I'll do 5 more and we'll just get it together. I don't really use him. He's a really good character. I just don't really use him. So that's all. So let's get this up. And we'll see what he does together, and I'm pretty sure it's to do with attack allies. Yeah, so boost damage reduction rate for all attack Shinobi. So that's what I was saying. If you have him and A together, they have the exact same trait. It'll actually stack. So that's actually a really good one to have. So there you go. I mean, for him, if you use him, it's a must-have, pretty much in my opinion. Same with A's. If you're running a lot of A Shinobis, right? So keep that in mind. All right, so Payne's here. His LB2 is boost own critical damage increase rate start of the turn after lasts for the rest of the battle. So that's actually a really important one. 100% get that up, because he also boosts his own critical rate during his Jitsu. This will help just do more damage even, so that's a must-have. Kovid Maru, I don't know why I don't have you maxed out here. Okay, lowers all enemies critical rate and damage reduction rate at the start of the turn. Very important one, so 100% getting that up. Don't know why I didn't do that originally. I guess I just haven't looked at him very much. So that's a really good one for places like the Abyss, guys. If you're looking to survive, this character here is actually really good for probably still the best debuffer in the game. So I would definitely get that up. Okay, this was a little weird. Boost own guard suppression rate, so not a must-have. So the thing is, B sucks already as it is. So this will help him specifically, and it does stack. But people don't use him often enough. I mean, it's not bad. If you main him, do it. If you don't main him and he's just sitting there, I wouldn't bother. Just hold on to your weapon fragments for later ones in case you need them, right? Okay, so Limit Break 2 for Naruto Sage mode. This one does boost all allies damage increase rate at the start of the turn after an ally has been defeated. So yeah, I would 100% do that. Great for Abyss and great for PvP, obviously. So that's a big one. Kushina. I don't think I've unlocked it yet because I haven't got a weapon, but boost critical rate and guard rate for the ally tactical shinobi. So she's an interesting one because she does different buffs for different types. So, I mean, definitely get her if you plan to main her. That's a wicked one for tactical shinobi. So I would say yes to her for sure. Donzo, not a must-have. So here's the reason why he's not a must-have. He lowers enemies' attack and damage reduction rate if he dies, right? So you don't necessarily need that. So, I mean, so Donzo is really hard to kill, first off, but I mean, it's not a must-have, so up to you on that one. Mitsuki, definitely get this one up. Boost all active allies damage increase rate and damage reduction rate if he's at the start of the turn. It's a very important one, guys, so that's a yes for sure. Datara Sublime, another big yes for sure. This one here is lowers all enemies critical suppression rate for the rest of the battle, so definitely get that up because that way you do more crits. Really important for him as a character as well to crit, so get that up. Maze is also a really important one because it boosts all active allies critical suppression rate and guard damage reduction rate, so it makes you a lot more tanky. Plus her trait already reduces ninjutsu and tribe specials for like 3 turns for an obscene amount, so adding that to it makes it even better, so definitely must have for that. UR Sarada LB2 is very important, guys. Lowers damage reduction rate and critical suppression rate for all active enemy D shinobi, so that's a really good one, especially for connected feelings tribe, because when you're fighting ATB and you use that on a D unit, it's really helpful. So yes, 100% for just specifically for that reason alone is worth it. All right, Chio. So Chio is an interesting one as well too. Chio does boost all active allies guard rate if going last. So she has the Gara situation where if you go first you heal, if you go last you do guard rate up. So if you plan to use her, absolutely do it because all active allies getting guard rate is is an awesome thing to have, especially if it's situational like this, right? So Kisame. Let's take a look at Hisame's here. Now this one's interesting. Increases all allies chakra at the start of any turn after an enemy has been defeated. So this is not like Sai's where it's any turn, enemy has to be defeated for the chakra to go up, and every enemy has to die for the chakra to increase. So yes, 100% get that up, especially anyone who's a chakra battery is worth having to get up, guys. So yes for that. Boruto, another big yes. So he boosts guard rate and guard damage reduction rate for all tactical shinobis for the rest of the battle. Very important one, especially for places like Abyss, because Abyss is littered with D and T units, so you're going to be carrying a lot of T units, so he's actually really good for survivability. So I would say yes to Boruto. Sasuke, another one that's usually all the Sasuke's have this. So increases zone chakra and boost attack at the start of the turn after an ally has been defeated. So a really good one. He's already a chakra battery, but this helps him with more attack power and gives him a little more chakra. So again, not a must-have, guys, but a really good one to have. So if you main him like I do, I did it, and it's worth it because like Obito has it. You know, most of the URs who are Uchiha have this one, so I just did it anyways, but not a must-have, but a really good one. Okay, Obito, same thing as I just mentioned, exactly same as him. So for Obito though, I almost say it's a must-have only because Obito's he's such a big nuke in this game, almost a necessity nowadays. So I would say yes, and up to you on Sasuke's, but again, both of them don't require it, but I would recommend it. So it's a recommendation. All right, so B, let's take a look at B's real quick. Boost all allies critical suppression rate at the start of the turn after an ally has been defeated. So really good one, especially for Abyss, but not a must-have again. But I mean, if you have him and you use him in Abyss, then definitely do it. So Papa Sasuke's here. Increases his own chakra at the start of the turn, so a really good one for him. His vitality, unfortunately, is not 5k, or else that would have made him instant jutsu, which would have made him a little higher in the tier list. But you know, it's still good to have. So I would still do it anyways, guys, just because he's useful for heavy wound and stuff. And the extra stats help for connected feelings, right? Data not a must-have, but still really good for survivability. So he boosts all allies critical suppression rate for the rest of the battle. So again, not a must-have, but it's still nice to have. All right. Kamui Kakashi boosts all allies critical rate and critical suppression rate at the start of the battle after an ally has been defeated. So really good for Abyss. So I would recommend it because it does help you increase crit and also helps you take less crits. So I would do it, and it does stack as well too. So the more allies die, the better this becomes. Let's see, Minato 100% must have. 3-man cell gets DIR up, and it's obscene amount. So Minato is a must have for a UR, especially because it helps with the tribe special and his own damage, as well as anyone else in that same cell as him. Alright, so Naruto Six Tails, if you have him, another must have here. Boost own damage increase rate and boost own damage reduction rate every passing turn. So every turn he just increases a guy. So definitely a must have for him. I would get him up. CM2, another big must have, only because he's a 5k vitality character. Putting him and Sasuke and Sai together gives you instant chakra. You don't have to have Sai in the same cell as him, obviously. Sai can be anywhere because he does it, but Sasuke has to be in the same cell. So he increases his own chakra, of course, and he's a 5k vitality character, giving him instant jutsu. He becomes another Kakashi essentially. So yes to that. Sage Mode Jiraiya. Another must-have, boost all allies damage reduction rate at the start of any turn after an ally has been defeated. This is so important, guys, in Abyss. He is such a vital character in Abyss, so definitely get that up if you have him. Focus on that. Gamerz is another really good one. Not a must-have, but still really good. Boost all active allies defense if he's here for the start of the turn, and it stacks, right? So definitely get that up if you have him. I know he's fallen off quite a bit, but that defense stack is actually really good for the active allies, and it's anyone in the rotation, not just the cell, so keep that in mind. Okay, so Gamerz is a yes. Jiraiya, again, another must-have. Because he's a 5k character, he boosts his own chakra, giving him instant jutsu. So yes, 100% to that. Kakashi, easily the most important one, in my opinion, for damage dealers. Boost on critical damage increase rate at the start of the turn, and this last, so it stacks. So it's 7% at my level every turn, and it stacks and it keeps going. So very important. One of the most critical ones. He and Heavy actually are the two. Heavy does damage increase rate instead of crit rate. Crit damage rate. So both of those guys extremely important. Alright, going to Sasori. Sasori is a really good one too, guys. Sasori actually ends up lowering all enemies' damage reduction rate for the rest of the battle for just even being on your team. It's a low amount, but it's still worthwhile having, so 100% yes to that. KCM is amazing for survivability. So what he does actually, he boosts all allies' critical suppression rate for 5 turns at the beginning of the battle, meaning anybody who tries to crit you guys will actually do a lot less chances of critting. If you see here, the crit percentage chance is lowered by 14.02%, which is quite a bit. So that's 14% less crits on you coming in terms of chances, right? So Itachi Uchiha, the Akatsuki version, boosts his own critical damage increase rate and critical suppression rate at the start of any turn after an enemy has been defeated. So this one's really good for Arena, but where it lacks is places like ATB, FG, and it's still really good in Abyss. So I say yes to this one anyways because he has so many insane buffs for his trait. Look at it, it's like a freaking novel. I would say go ahead and do that. If you have it, it doesn't hurt. Naruto, attack and defense up after an enemy has been defeated. So I'd say yes to this again because he is a little tankier. Sorry, after an ally has been defeated, not enemy. So yeah, definitely get that up. Oh, it's actually damage increase rate and damage reduction rate. Sorry, my apologies, guys. He boosts his own damage increase rate and damage reduction rate at the start of any turn. My mistake. That's actually, is it the same? I don't remember. So in that case, yes, get him up because he's a little tankier, so for sure. Kid Naruto, 100%. Boost guard damage reduction rate for the 3-man cell. If you put him in any cell, guys, that cell becomes almost unkillable, so absolutely get that up. Itachi Uchiha criminal version, boost active allies crit rate and crit damage rate at the start of the turn, so absolutely yes, that is a must. It's a pretty big boost to damage. This one here is not a necessity, but at this point you may as well. Boost own damage reduction rate at the start of any turn after an ally has been defeated, just makes him tankier than before, so definitely worth it. Kieran is a 100% yes to this because you need to get this extra damage boost. He boosts all active allies damage increase rate at the start of the turn, and his trait gives attack, so that is a 100% yes. And like I mentioned, Hebi is a 100% as well too, boosting own damage increase rate at the start of any turn, so at the start of his own turn, and it's lasts for the rest of the battle, so it does stack. So there you go, guys. That is the list of everybody. So as you can see here, not everybody is a necessity. It's you still should at the end of the day get everyone's LB2 anyways, because you have to advance to LB3 and 4 after doing so anyways. But if you're looking to awaken, some of them you should awaken before getting the LB2. But for the most part, guys, LB2s are extremely important. So I hope this video helped out. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about this video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. But this pretty much goes through everything for you, every shinobi. So yeah, definitely, guys, focus on the characters that I mentioned, and you'll be flying. Sai being the #1 most important character, Kakashi next in line, and then Hebi after that. And then from there, guys, the list that I just explained should pretty much help you out in terms of who you should LB2 or not. Alright, guys, this is Payne. Check out Game of the Week, Phasmophobia Day 2. We had a blast on Day 1. Hoping Day 2 gets even bigger, guys. So make sure you join us and watch us get scared shitless. Alright, guys. Anyways, have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday, Easter tomorrow. And for those who are off Monday as well, too, for the Quebec side on the Canada end, enjoy your Monday off. Take care, guys. Talk soon.